Hello, Scream Demons, and welcome to the Screams from the Basement podcast.
This is the scariest horror podcast on this side of the Black Lagoon. Screams from the Basement discusses the best double features the genre has to offer.
We also host the Screams by Night halfway to Halloween Con and interview the industry's finest that make our screams become nightmares. I am one of your creepy co-hosts. I am Casey.
And I'm Sam the Damned, and let's get screaming. Casey.
Yes.
This double feature was specifically selected because of Screams by Night.
Screams by Night halfway to Halloween Con as we are recording this, as this episode drops. It's the tomorrow. Next damn day.
Yep.
It is the next day, Saturday, April 25th, right here in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. And one day, one time to celebrate all things spooky, macabre, Halloween, horror, and in this case, slumber party massacres and Hollywood chainsaw hookers.
100%. Yeah, our two of our big guests this year are Michelle Bauer and Brinke Stevens, and we wanted to pay tribute to them on this album, or on this
on this album. Yeah,
episode.
So we're dropping a surprise album.
We're dropping an album. And we were kind of like wondering what should we do that's going to drop the weekend of the con, because we're obviously in like that busy mode where we're it's a week away. We're coming up on it as we record this, and so we wanted to pick a double feature that both of us probably would have been watching anyways. And Casey, you've got a little bit more of Doobie Doing. That's because I'll talk about it a little bit. I've been very busy with a few different jobs this past couple weeks, and but my Doobie Doing is a little different than yours and quite shorter. So
yeah. My Doobie Doing though is mostly within the last 2 days, where if you're watching this on YouTube, as you can see behind me, there's nothing on my walls. There's just stuff kind of packed in my closet behind me right now. We're getting ready to move. So most of my free time has gone towards getting a damn house ready to sell. So that's where most of my free time has gone to. And a few movies and stuff prepping for the con. So it's been, both of us, we've been crazy busy getting ready for the second annual Screams by Night Con. And this is something we would have done anyway, is, watch movies leading up to the con featuring our guests. It's something I feel both of us do, no matter if it's our own event that we host, or if it's something that we're going to, if we're going to, say, Halloween-a-Palooza, we always watch stuff in preparation for whoever is going to be there.
Oh, absolutely.
And this episode's no different, though. And I think there's a nice tie-in between both of these movies, too.
Oh, yeah. Both of these movies are quintessential B movies. They are what you think of when you think of B movies, right on down from the posters, the titles, the very low budget nature of both of them. I've said this is the best double feature we've covered on the podcast and all this before. This is maybe one of the most fun double features we will ever cover on this podcast, I feel.
I think this right here might be the capital THE, the 80s horror double feature that we could do. The most 80s one we could ever touch.
100%.
Because in very different, both of these movies I would throw into the slasher genre. Or at least B movie 80s horror movies. One definitely leans more slasher than the other one. But in a way, this is two different spectrums of that classic 1980s B horror movies. Where I think something like the Slumber Party Massacre elevates past that, versus Hollywood Chainsaw Hookers, which is just 100% that's what it is.
And I do have a read of that is maybe more in line with Slumber Party Massacre's themes than,
Well, yeah.
That's a very interesting
Fred
movie.
Olin Ray is saying something, goddammit, in Hollywood Chainsaw Hookers.
He is. He's saying it in one of the dumbest ways possible, but he is saying it. So
he is saying it.
Oh God, that movie's a ton of fun. I can't wait to get into it.
Well, the reason we're doing this again is because we're talking about two of our guests for the Screams by Night halfway to Halloween Con, Brinke Stevens, Michelle Bauer, two of the big three Trinity of horror, Trinity of terror in the 1980s. Two of the big three scream queens of the era, the Nightmare Sisters, as many call them, together because of that movie, Nightmare Sisters, that all three starred in, including those two plus Linnea Quigley. We will talk about all three gals in this. This is a rare time where Brinke this is her first feature film we'll talk about with Slumber Party Massacre. And then you have Michelle and Linnea in Hollywood Chainsaw Hookers, minus Brinke. Brinke was not in that one.
Yeah, and we'll talk about that too, because like I wish Brinke was in that one.
Yeah, we'll talk about that. I have some trivia I looked up on that and why she might not have been in that one.
Okay.
Yeah. But, Sam, let's jump into this. Let's jump into our first film in our 1980s slasher B-movie double feature for today. We are talking 1982 is very early, right in the prime of the slasher craze. I think 81, 82 is the big 2 years. Talked about 81 when we talked about, what did we talk about? The Prowler? I think we talked a lot about 1981 Prowler. Slashers then. 82, again, coming right off that with The Slumber Party Massacre, directed by Amy Holden Jones, written by Rita Mae Brown and Amy Holden Jones. Cast includes Michelle Michaels as Trish, Robin Style as Valerie, Brinke Stevens as Linda, and Michael Velea as the driller killer, Russ Thorne. Yeah. Sam, what is The Slumber Party Massacre?
Well, it's a movie about a group of high school girls, and they're having a slumber party right across the street from the new girl and her little sister, while a deranged psychopath has escaped and roams around with a power drill looking for new victims. Will their coach come and save the day, or will the girls have to fight for their own lives? The slasheriest slasher that ever did exist, The Slumber Party Massacre.
One slasher to rule them all, The Slumber Party Massacre.
You know, I don't think this is the best one, but I do think this is the most slasher a slasher can get.
Possibly the most quintessential slasher, when you think of what that is.
Yeah. I genuinely, I can't think of another slasher from this era specifically that is that has all of the hallmarks of a great slasher, while also just being so aware of that and saying something with, I don't know, I really like this movie a lot.
Yeah. And again, we can kind of talk about where the horror space was at this point. Everybody was doing low budget slasher movies. Where it was usually, not in every case, most of the time it was not a guy in a mask. It was usually just a guy, a crazed guy with a weapon going after young teens. Mostly women, but a good assortment, men and women, especially if you look at the Friday the 13th franchise, good mixture of both men and women. In this case, I mean, this movie just lays it out right away with the poster, with the title, The Slumber Party Massacre. You know it's about a dude with a drill chasing these girls at their slumber party.
Yep. I love this poster. This has got to be one of the best posters in slasher history. It's so... especially when you know the kind of feminist angle of this movie and what Amy Holden Jones and Rita Mae Brown were trying to do with the slasher, this poster is so funny because it's the scantily clad women all helplessly on the ground, and in the foreground there's a man's legs, and between those legs is the power drill. The phallic imagery in this movie is insane, and I love it for that. You talk about Men, Women, and Chainsaws, the Carol Clover book, that kind of talks about all of the tropes and establishes that final girl term that we've been using. And that book also talks about the phallic imagery of a penetrative weapon. This takes that up to 11.
That book talks a lot about this movie in particular.
Yes, this movie specifically, yeah. And I mean, for good reason, because this is
arguably
100%.
This is probably like the best film companion to that work.
Yeah,
I would
agree. I would agree with that.
Yeah. So if you have not read Men, Women, and Chainsaws, highly recommend it. I have not read it in a very long time. It's probably due for a reread of that soon.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's so fascinating to look at the behind the scenes of this movie because, again, female director, female writer, largely female cast.
Mm-hmm.
Behind the scenes, though, produced by Roger Corman.
Yes.
Which we have to talk about it here. Corman, no stranger to, I mean, if you have a B-movie director, producer, Mount Rushmore, he's on there. He has to be.
Yep, 100%.
And that's for better and for worse. And in this case, in this case, 1980s Roger Corman, no stranger to, I want a lot of boobs in my movies, and I want it done quick and fast.
Yep.
And, I mean, he kind of gave Amy Holden Jones that same kind of game plan, map, whatever you want to call it, blueprint of what a Corman movie should be at this time, and said, run with it. Which, you got to give Corman props for that. No, like, especially at this time, not a whole lot of female directors were in the Hollywood space, let alone the horror space of directing horror movies.
Right.
And for her to say, yeah, don't treat me any different. Give me all the notes of, like, you need this many boobs at this amount of time in the movie. Every 10 minutes there needs to be a kill. Whatever notes you have as a producer, sure. And she runs with it. I mean, she has all of those Hallmark tropes that you would find in any other Corman movie, any other slasher movie. But flip, just like, not necessarily flip them on their head, because it's still a very serious slasher movie. But, like, the drill is firmly planted in cheek. Instead of the tongue, it's a drill planted in cheek. Yeah.
Well, and that's the thing. Like, she's working around these like, these asks that are essentially, like, counterintuitive to what this movie is, right? Like, how do you make a feminist movie, but it's like, oh, my male producer says I gotta have boobs in it, you know? And so there's this kind of interesting push and pull in this movie where, you know, it's doing all of the slasher things while also being like, but here's the feminist version of that. Here's like how women feel about these situations here. And I love that. But aside from even all of that, this is just a really well-made kind of cozy slasher. Like,
super tense. It's a tense slasher.
Yeah, like there is a lot of tense moments, but it's also just, it's a vibe, you know? I put this on the same way I put on like April Fool's Day or even like Black Christmas, where I'm just like, you know, these movies have intensity, they have creepy moments, they have like good kills, but also like the world that they create and the vibe that they are, I want to spend time in that. And so like this is one that I put on in the background while I'm doing things around the house all the time, you know, and unlike something like April Fool's Day, which I typically tend to watch around this time of year, or Black Christmas, which I tend to watch in that like November through January era, like I watch this one year round. It's just in any time. If I'm looking for something fun to put on in the background, I'll throw it on. And I've watched the Joe Bob presentation of this from when he put on his night marathon. Like, he opened his night marathon with this movie. I put that presentation on all the time. I love it.
Yeah, I think that was the last time I watched this.
Was
with
it?
Joe Bob.
Yeah. I loved when he played this. I thought it was so much fun. Yeah. It was a great way to kick off the night marathon.
Yeah. And again, like, you look at a perfect sleepover movie. This is one of them. This is one of those where even now, 40 plus years later, you get a group of teens together for a sleepover, and you're wondering, what do we watch? What are some movies that we watch? And of course, they're going to pick mostly movies from their era. You and I did
Mm-hmm.
that. It was very much a thing. You pick movies from your era or maybe a little bit earlier. But oftentimes you get to a point in the night where you're like, we got to watch like an 80s movie.
Mm-hmm.
Like we got to watch something slasher. This is one of those movies that you pick up. This is one of those movies you grab off the shelf. You put on Netflix. You put on whatever version of streaming that you have. This is one of those quintessential sleepover movies for a movie called The Slumber Party Massacre.
Yeah. Well, and it's interesting you say that because, that's a lot of what it is. It's, and I think with streaming, you have like a lot of older movies right up next to new ones, right? So those boundaries are a little bit like, I feel like you see more kids actually seeing earlier stuff just because like they're watching it on a service that has, the new Evil Dead right next to the old Evil Dead,
Yeah.
And so there's like a little more access. But yeah, like I remember, when I was a kid, we'd rent movies that were of our generation, like, the Freddy versus Jasons, those mid-aught slashers that were coming out, I watched The Terrible Hills Have Eyes too, from the mid 2000s. I wouldn't recommend it. But the minute you ran out of like whatever you got from the rental store, and this already dates me, Jesus Christ, you'd go to cable and you'd see what was playing. And like cable's not licensing brand new movies typically. You have to have the premium channels for that.
Yeah.
So like it was a lot of stuff from the 80s and 90s that like we'd watch after we'd finished whatever we rented from the video store that weekend. And
if a lot of times what we did, we would watch our Darkness Falls was always a big one for us.
Yeah.
But you would just hop on Netflix or whatever streaming service and you're like, we're just going to find whatever's the craziest titled movie.
Yeah. Back when Netflix had great, because
cool
they
stuff.
used to have amazing horror. Yeah.
And this is one of those. You come across The Slumber Party Massacre. You're like, what? Okay, we got to watch this. Same with Hollywood Chainsaw Hookers. You're like, what?
Yes.
What is this? I have to watch it. And then you watch it, and you're like, this is a fantastic slasher with something to say about being a slasher, about feminism, about women power.
Yeah.
I mean, the entire movie is about a guy with a drill that penetrates women with it.
Yep.
Only to get it lopped off at the end of the movie.
Yeah, it's fantastic. I love it. I love it.
One thing I noticed this time while watching it, jumping into like right away at the beginning of the movie, our main character, Trish, is getting ready for the slumber party.
Yeah.
And she packs like a doll, pajamas, a stuffed animal into a bag. Like kind of like a middle school sleepover. You would.
Yeah, it's
says
a little
goodbye to her parents,
infantilizing, isn't it?
And as soon as her parents leave, that stuff goes in the trash.
Yeah.
She's in high school now. She's grown up. She's past that.
Yeah, they're gonna drink and smoke weed.
And smoke weed and just change our clothes in front of each other and talk about baseball more than anything else in this movie.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's just it's such a good way of
it's that transition from adolescence to teenager.
Right, yeah. And I don't know. I love how this movie, it doesn't even open with a kill. Like, the first kill happens, like, I mean, not that far into the movie, but, like, it does take its time before the first kill happens. And the first kill happens off screen. Like, it's inside inside the
Creeper's van.
The electric truck or whatever. Yeah. And then the next one you see is also kind of like, there's more of a cat and mouse chase sequence with that one.
Brink's first scene.
Yeah, exactly. But it's still like an off-screen kill. So you don't really get a ton of gore until like the back half of this movie.
Yeah.
And when that gore hits, it's really good. Like,
it's good.
I love the blood spatter in this.
Yeah, well, when they're at school, I think there's a really funny scene here. It's right after gym. All the girls are playing basketball. Very clear that these young ladies are actors or models, not basketball players.
Yeah.
Not very good at that. I'll just say that it's a pretty funny basketball scene. Anyway, they all end up in the shower afterwards, and here's where we get, of course, tons of nudity because shower scene in a slasher movie.
Yeah,
it's funny to me that Brink's first ever big scene in a big movie. Guess where she is?
She's in the shower.
She's in the shower,
and that's kind of a running theme in her work,
her 100%. Career. Yeah,
like yeah.
But there's a really funny line here. Is one of them says, I think your tits are getting bigger, and you hear all of them in the background yell, "Me?"
Yes, there's like a chorus of voices that it's so funny,
like a very excited me.
That's the kind of ADR that I think is appropriate, like that's a great joke because no one's on screen. It's literally just a sound bite while you're watching nude bodies shower. Like that's it. No one's actually talking.
And it's funny, like it adds something to the nudity. Yeah.
It's just a really fun way to open this movie.
And then you get Brink's chase scene throughout the school. Good stuff.
Yeah. Which that's awesome. Like I love the fact that she kind of does everything right except for she hides right next to the door and isn't aware of like the blood dripping off of her arm going under the door.
Yeah.
And like and that's ultimately like her downfall. But like it's funny, the first time we met Brink, I knew she was in the Slumber Party Massacre, didn't know who she was in the Slumber Party. I'd only maybe seen the Slumber Party Massacre like once. And when we met Brink at Halloween-a-Palooza back in like 2021, like I was like, oh yeah, I like Slumber Party Massacre. I don't remember who she was in it. And then the next time I watched it, I realized she was the first kill, and I was like, no. It was almost like it's a little bit of a reverse Drew Barrymore now, where I'm like I mean, I know it was her first film role, but now it's like people watch that movie, and who do you remember from the Slumber Party Massacre? You remember Brinke Stevens. Like, I don't know if any of the other actresses in this really like had quite as lengthy and prolific of a career as she did, right? So you watch it now and it's kind of disappointing that she's the very first kill, that she's out of it within the first 15 minutes of the movie.
Yeah.
And so yeah, that's why I call it kind of the reverse Drew Barrymore, because like she was not really a known actress at the time, but now she is, and people go back and watch this and it's not really a Brinke Stevens movie, And
yeah, that was one thing we talked about when we did our top 10 list at Little Cono Horrors in Omaha, where we mentioned like Slumber Party Massacre is probably the best movie she's been in, but it's not a quote unquote Brinke Stevens movie.
Yes. And so we rated it lower in our like Brinke Stevens ranking because like, yeah, there are movies that she's done that maybe aren't quite to the level of Slumber Party Massacre, at least in my opinion, but like are so much fun, and she is front and center of the entire thing, and that's the selling point of it. Things like Teenage Exorcist or Haunting Fear, like those movies rule, and they rule because Brink is awesome. Yeah.
So it's sad to see her go right away. I forgot she had like actual speaking lines before her like chase scene.
Yeah, I mean, she even tells him she went back to she forgot her book. And that, I think, is also another interesting subversion. Because, like, Brink, to me, feels like the Laurie Strode in this. She's the one that's talking about studying. She's the one that needs to go back and get her books. And I mean, Laurie literally has the exact same conversation in that original Halloween where she's like, oh, I forgot my chemistry book. And,
doesn't the other girl say something similar? Like when she goes into the AV van? Like...
Yeah, something. Yeah.
Because, like, there's a motivation for her to go into the van. It's like the school's AV van.
Well, she's like an electrician.
Is that what it is?
When we're introduced to her, she's up on a ladder doing something on the school, and two dipshit teenage boys, I think the two that end up peeping
spying
later,
on the girls at the party,
are like admiring her work.
Okay. Yeah.
And then she goes back to her van to like pick something up, and Russ attacks her. But like I find it really fascinating that like you have this Laurie Strode character where, you know, like Laurie Strode herself had even said like, oh, I forgot my chemistry book. And PJ Souls goes, well, I always forget my chemistry book and my math book and my blah, blah, blah book. And like, so they don't let Laurie go back. Well, you don't have that in this movie. They don't chide Brink for forgetting her book. She goes back in and that's what kills her. Like, and that to me is a subversion there. Like where it's like, oh, you're killing the final girl. You're killing the bookie, like nerd, for lack of better terms. Yeah.
Well, same with the electrician then. Like she had nothing to do with the school. She was just there.
Right.
Like Russ Thorne is just a crazy person. We get like dialogue on the radio. We see it in a newspaper. Like he's just escaped from prison. He's murdered 5 people before. So he's just a crazy person. That's all this guy is. There's nothing more to Russ Thorne.
And these girls even hear like when you hear it on the radio, they're listening to the radio and they like turn it because it's like, oh, that's boring.
Yeah. They want to listen to their music.
Yeah, exactly. Like it's, oh God,
it's kind of crazy because from this point on, from those first 2 kills, those are probably within the first 10, 15 minutes, probably 10 minutes of the movie. For a good, I don't know, maybe half hour or so, we don't get any kills. It's like leading up to the slumber party. We get a lot of jump scares. Like there's the cat, the peephole with the drill going through it. You have the neighbor coming into the house. Like you got all these really good like fake out jump scares before you get into that, really the second half of this movie where it is just Russ Thorne running around chasing these teens. Yeah. So like, I think it does a good job of building it up again of here's your 2 kills at the beginning. Here's a lot of jump scares. Mm-hmm. And then you get the massacre part of it in the third act.
Yeah. And I think this movie's really smart about bringing people in to like actually, you know, there are so many movies that are like such and such massacre and like 3 or 4 people get killed. It's like, well, that's not really a massacre, right? Like this movie really is like the body count's pretty high in this.
Yeah.
Like they bring in the peeping Toms, they bring in a boyfriend, they bring in the neighbor, guy. They bring in the coach, the pizza guy, like
poor pizza
all
guy.
Of these people, and they're killing the girls as well. You know, like this is like the way this movie is written is so smart because it brings in characters when you need to. Like all of the characters it brings in have a personality. Like you do kind of like in the short scenes that they have, you like them enough that when they get killed, like it's like, oh God, you know, but it's also like, well, they were expendable characters anyways.
There's
and
12 people
that.
die in this movie.
Yeah. Like, and that's so like, that's also not super, that's a pretty high body count for this era.
For this era and for a movie, it's only an hour and 15 minutes.
Yeah. That's a kill less than, like on average, less than every 10 minutes, you know? So that's kind of great.
2 of my favorite characters in this though are Valerie, who's the new girl, and her sister who live like right across the street or right down the street from where the slumber party is. Val is not invited to the slumber party. None of the girls like her. Except for Trish, who does end up inviting her, but it's after she's already heard the rest of them bad-mouthing her. Yeah, so, I love the like, honestly, in any other slasher movie, them cutting away to 2 people who have no relation to the plot would drive me up a fucking wall. Like, I'd be like, but they're just as integral to the plot. In a way, they're having their own slumber party. It's just a sister, you know, an older sister, younger sister. Night in by themselves. Right. And the younger sister's very clearly interested in the more adult party that's going around across the street. Which is so funny. I love every time we cut back to these 2. I think it's great. I always laugh when I watch this because like having her recast with Helen from Wings in Slumber Party Massacre 2. Because like the little sister in this is the final girl in Slumber Party Massacre 2. And she has that great line where, you know, her mom wants her to visit her older sister who's in apparently Valerie's in a mental hospital by the time 2 comes around. And I want to say Helen, but it's Courtney because that was her character on Wings. But Courtney goes,
It's my birthday Sunday, and I don't want to go to a mental hospital. So good. So good. Also, apparently, Courtney moved to the South and got a Southern accent in between 1 and 2, so.
Yeah. She's really funny in this. Like, she's total little sister vibes of, like, sneaking her sister's, like, Playgirl magazine with Sylvester Stallone on the cover. At one point, she's, like, talking to her friend on the phone about a boy she was kissing that stuck his tongue in her mouth, and she's like, it was all gross and slimy.
Yeah, she's honestly my favorite part of this movie. I love it. I love it. And I love when the coach calls them after she gets concerned over the dropped call that she has. And she's like, hey, I know you live right across the street. Like, A, why would your coach know that? That's fucking weird. But she's like, hey, I know you live right across the street. Will you just go over and check on them? And Valerie's response is like, I'd prefer not to.
Maybe
not
it's the like maybe this is an 80s thing where it's like
everybody
kind of just
everybody.
know where everybody lives, because you only have 2 ways to contact them. You either go directly to their house or call them on the phone, and if they're on the phone already, it's not gonna.
That's fair. Yeah.
Go to them.
I don't know. I always thought that was really funny where the coach just like calls and it's just and again it kind of plays as like a small town in suburbia, so like it probably is one of those just like, oh, everybody knows everybody kind of things. But yeah, that part's always just made me laugh. Feels like a little plot convenience.
It works. It gets her over to the house to be part of the situation.
Yeah. Oh God, when they find the body in the fridge, that's like maybe my favorite scene.
It's so good. It's so good because the little sister Courtney like keeps opening the fridge, like because she wants to grab a beer. She wants to be one of the fun party teenagers, and keeps opening and closing it with the body like falling in and out of it. And finally, she's like, "Screw it, I'm gonna have a beer." Opens it, and the body falls right out.
Yep. And then she screams and just runs out of the room. And Valerie comes in like, what is the big deal? And she sees it and does the exact same thing. So good. So good. I love that sequence.
I noticed, again, another 80s thing in here. The girls order pizza. This is after the boys are being peeping toms when they the girls are changing into their slumber party attire. Again, more nudity in the movie. 2 boys outside peeping on them. The girls eventually bring the boys into the house because what happens in these movies. But yeah, then they order pizza. $6 for their pizza is all delivered. Crazy.
I wish.
Granted, this was 40 years ago, so maybe that was expensive 40 years ago.
Maybe, but I doubt it. I don't think things were expensive years ago. I think things were just things, and you could buy them if you had a normal person job.
Yeah.
And now you can't.
Yeah, you scrounge around a couple bucks between each of you, and delivery driver still gets a tip, and you get a pizza delivered.
Right, yeah.
There's a really funny moment, though, with the pizza. So the pizza delivery guy, he ends up, like, they open the door for him, even though they, like, there might be something bad going on. Yeah. They open the door for him. The pizza guy just like falls. He has like his eyes drilled out. He falls down. Yeah. Later on, they cover his body with a blanket. So like, what do we do with him? So they just cover the body up. And then at one point, the girls like let the 2 boys out to go get help or fight off Russ. And they're sitting in the house and they're like, we're really hungry. So they start eating the pizza off the back of the pizza delivery guy's back.
Yes.
It's so funny.
Good. So good. Yeah, everything about this movie is just, it's so, like you said, we'll say drill and chic, because it's stupid. Yes, like there are a lot of stupid things in this movie, but it's also like so smart about its stupidity. And I think that's a really fine line that is very hard to actually keep on,
Well, yeah, I mean, that setup, like us seeing the girls put the blanket over the body. Then we see it again with them eating pizza off it. It's paid off in the 3rd act when the coach shows up and the coach sees a body laying there.
Yeah.
And she's like, what is going on? Like, trying to figure out what's happening. So she lifts the blanket up, and it's Russ, and he, like, sits up.
Oh, God. That is such a creepy moment. Like,
Because us as an audience, we're expecting she's going to find the pizza delivery boy's body. And that's, like, scared.
Yeah.
Like everybody else has been when they first discover a body. Nope, it's just, here's the killer right away.
Yeah.
So good. There's another great scene where Russ is, when we're down to, like, basically our two girls, our two main slumber party girls are in the house. And they're up, they barricade themselves into the bedroom. And Russ sneaks in through the window.
Yeah.
It's so creepy.
Oh,
yeah.
That scene is terrifying. And obviously, like, you get to the pool showdown and the phallic imagery of his drill getting cut in half with a machete. Like, damn, this movie is so, like, it's so fun. This is a damn near perfect movie, honestly. It's a movie that no matter how many times I watch it, I find something more to appreciate every time. For me this time it was actually the same for you, the like ADR in the shower room of the like I for whatever reason I had never paid attention to that line before. It never stuck out to me because like I belly laughed.
We also got to mention at the end here when we have the pool where it's basically Val and her younger sister Courtney, Trish, and who's left? The coach, right?
Yeah. Which the coach
dies.
I wish she made it.
Yeah.
I like Coach Gianna. She's great.
Yep. So they have this final showdown. They lop off his
they lop off his drill dick.
His drill dick falls into the pool. He ends up getting back up and running at them, and he ends up getting penetrated.
Yes.
Fully, like, that's what they're going for. With a machete. Penetrates himself with it.
Yep.
And dies. Like, that's how they get rid of the driller killer.
It kind of reminds me of the Dean on Community from that second Dungeons and Dragons episode they do. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like you said though, this is one of the best slasher movies ever. It's from start to finish, super short. It's an hour and 15 minutes, perfect run time for a movie like this. Both movies we'll talk about today are right at that like hour 15 mark.
Yeah, like I think both are 75 minutes.
Yeah.
Like great
movie. Tons of social commentary in this. And again, just one of the best slasher movies. Full of tension, great kills, great killer weapon. Like,
yeah.
What are you giving this? How many phallic looking drills are you giving the Slumber Party Massacre?
I bumped this up. I think during the night marathon, I bumped it up. I'm gonna give this 4.5 out of a possible 5 phallic-looking drills. How about you?
I gave it a 4 out of 5. I'm right there with you. 4 out of 5 for sure. Few pieces of trivia to throw in here. Amy Holden Jones's brother Ralph did the synth score, which the score is incredible in this movie. Score
awesome.
rips.
Yep.
The movie was originally titled Sleepless Night under Roger Corman because he wanted to quote unquote class it up a little.
Oh, why? It's Corman.
I think it was so they could get some of the locations before they changed the title to the Slumber Party Massacre. Driller Killer, Valleja, he avoided cast during the shoot, which I've heard many times. Like, he did not speak to most of the girls on set. Very, very much kept to himself and kind of stayed a bit in character as Russ.
Gross.
Yeah. And then, like I said, 6 males and 6 females die for a total of 12 dead bodies in this movie. So a pretty even, that's an even kill count, dead meat. Yeah. 6 and 6.
That's solid. Love this freaking movie.
It's a great movie. Great movie. 2 great movies that we'll talk about today, but before we get to our second film in our double feature, let's get to our first ad read of the show. Help! The Basement Boys are trapped in an abandoned amusement park and need your help. The best way to help the fun-loving horror fiends is by joining Patreon. By joining our Patreon, you get bonus perks that cannot be found anywhere else, including monthly bonus podcast vlogs from our horror collections and exclusive movie reviews. Each subscription to our Patreon helps the Basement Boys escape Old Man Marley's amusement park, and you can help by joining our Patreon by scanning the QR code on the screen or visiting patreon.com/screams from the basement. Any and all patrons, thank you all so much for helping to support the show. We want to see you over there.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah, we do.
All right, Sam, let's get to movie number deuce of this slasher double feature from 1988. We're talking Hollywood Chainsaw Hookers, directed by Fred Olen Ray, written by T.C. Langford and Fred Olen Ray. Actually, not just written by T.C. Langford and Fred Olen Ray. The movie is actually, as the movie states here, screenplay drastically rewritten and improved upon by Fred Olen Ray and T.L. Langford.
Oh, okay.
That's what they're credited as in the movie.
Interesting.
Very tongue-in-cheek movie here, Hollywood Chainsaw Hookers, that stars Gunnar Hansen as the stranger. Gunnar Hansen you might recognize as Leatherface in the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Linnea Quigley as Samantha, John Henry Richardson as P.I. Jack Chandler, and Michelle Bauer as Mercedes, the lead Hollywood Chainsaw Hooker.
Yeah.
Sam, what is Hollywood Chainsaw Hookers?
Well, it's about a worthless piece of shit private detective named Jack Chandler, and he's investigating the disappearance of a young girl, only to find that she's been inducted into a cult of chainsaw-wielding sex workers, led by Gunnar Hansen. If naked women chainsawing greasy men to death is your thing, Hollywood Chainsaw Hookers is the movie for you. Phenomenal, yeah.
Phenomenal. We got to talk about first things first, before we even jump into this movie reactions, because this was a first time watch for you.
Yes, it was.
We gotta mention the disclaimer at the beginning of the movie.
Yes. Oh my God. Yes.
There is a disclaimer at the beginning of this movie, and I will state it here. It's very important to know this going into it. The chainsaws used in this motion picture are real and dangerous. They are handled here by seasoned professionals. The makers of this motion picture advise strongly against anyone attempting to perform these stunts at home, especially if you are naked and about to engage in strenuous sex. My conscience is clear. Fred Olen Ray.
Can we talk about the words that they choose to put in all caps in this opening too?
Yeah.
Like, there are words that are emboldened and bigger than everything else, and those are chainsaws,
yep,
real, dangerous, professionals, and sex. That's what you need to know about this movie. Chainsaws, real, dangerous, professionals, sex. That's it. That's Hollywood Chainsaw Hookers in a nutshell.
Sam, this was a first time watch for you.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on Hollywood Chainsaw Hookers for your first time?
I mean, I texted you less than 5 minutes into this movie. Before that disclaimer even popped up, I believe. Because I don't think the disclaimer pops up until after it opens with it. So it opens with the disclaimer, goes
before
right
the title
into
card. Way before the title card. Yeah.
Yeah. And it goes right into, you're just sitting there watching a sex worker in an interrogation room, and she's smoking a cigarette, and they're investigating what happened between her and this man that they have found dead. And she's just explaining it so matter-of-factly, and she taking her cigarette drags and talking about how she, he wasn't going to pay up, and so she took a chainsaw to him. And the guy asked, how she did it, and she goes, well, here, let me show you. And she just pulls a chainsaw out from under the table, revs it, cut to the title card, Hollywood Chainsaw Hookers. Phenomenal opening. I texted you right after. If this cold open is any indication of what this movie is, I love it already. And it was a pretty good indication of what that movie was. This is a movie that I watched on I did enjoy a THC beverage while I watched it, because I'm like, if there's any movie that deserves it, it's this one. So by the final like 20 minutes, I was pretty giggly. And yeah, I absolutely loved this. I thought it was a ton of fun. I think that this might be the best work of Michelle Bauer from what I've seen of her work.
Yeah, yeah.
I think she's phenomenal in this movie. I genuinely think she's great. And Linnea, like, there might be other roles that I'm like, oh, Linnea was maybe a little, like, even more memorable in this role, but I think this is one of her best roles. I think this is up there for one of her best roles. I think she's so cute and adorable in this, while she's also just kind of like a badass. Because she plays that like Midwest farm girl out in the big city so well, but then when push comes to shove, she's like legitimately just like tearing shit up with a chainsaw.
I mean, that is Linnea Quigley, like,
yeah, exactly.
Midwest small town girl that ends up in
this movie
LA.
Just plays to her strengths. I guess. Yeah, like it's great.
Yeah, this is a second time watch. I think I talked about it before on the podcast, because I watched it not that long ago in preparation, because we knew we were getting Michelle to come to the con. And this was like the big movie of hers I had not seen yet. Yeah, this movie's incredible. It's so much fun. Yeah. It's pure 80s. It's pure 80s excess. It's everything you would want in an 80s horror movie.
It's one that I'll tell you, my star rating for this is lower than it will be in 2 years when I've watched this more times. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and it's so much fun. It's like, again, I feel filmmakers today can learn a lot from this movie.
Yeah.
Like, Fred Olen Ray is one of those directors that never had a budget. Just didn't.
No, never.
Never.
And like,
still doesn't. He's still making movies to this day. He's making like those Hallmark type Christmas movies, or even kids movies, like the straight to DVD kids movies. It's where a lot of his work is nowadays. But in the 80s, like, Fred Olen Ray was making these very, very low budget, quick, shoot what we can in 5 days movies, where we're only using short ends of film to make these films. This is one of those films shot in 5 days, only use short ends. 1 or 2 takes and we're moving on.
Yep. And like, I love that vibe. Like, I love those kinds of movies, because it is just, you have to catch lightning in a bottle. And some of them don't. Some of them are boring. Some of them are bad. Like, this is not one of those. Like, this is one of those that everybody came in, they hit their marks, they knew what this movie was. And like, yeah, it's cheap. Yeah, there's some edits that are like, wait, what? But like, at the end of the day, this is such a vastly entertaining movie. And it's so, like, again, it kind of reverses some of those gender roles that you see from B movies of this time. Like, it's very much the women are in charge in this movie. And the men, like, the whole time I'm watching this Jack Chandler guy walk through this movie, he has no bearing on the plot. He is a Jack Burton type from like Big Trouble in Little China, where if he wasn't in the movie, nothing would change.
Yeah, so Jack Chandler, let's talk about him, because he's really like the audience introduction. He's the one giving narration, like full like film noir.
And his narration is fantastic.
It's so good. One of the first things he says is, he's talking about the case that we're about to watch, where it starts off in this dark and seedy place where dark and sleazy things happen.
Yeah.
It's like explaining what's happening in the movie. It's just pure dialogue. Like, it's just pure exposition of leading us into certain things. And again, it's where a voiceover can lend itself to the movie. Like, it adds a style to this. Like, this feels... like, the film feels film noir because of these voiceovers, because of the character of Jack Chandler. When we're taking this normal detective noir PI guy and throwing him into a literal cult of chainsaw worshipping hookers.
Yeah. And like, he has so many good one-liners in this. Like, there's the you could have knocked me over with a pubic hair.
I wrote that one down too. Yeah.
And
That's when he sees Linnea dancing for the first time.
Yeah. When he's talking about like going to see his girl, but she's not really my girl. And he's like painting this picture of like a relationship where she cares and she's like,
And there's a point where he's like going back to work and he's like, yeah, and she begged me not to go, but I told her, baby, like I have a very important job, and she's like flipping him off and saying F
she's
you.
Flipping him the bird, and like you can read her lips and that is not what she's saying at all. And it's so funny. Like it's such a like it's like the unreliable narrator being completely called out on his unreliable narration. Yeah. Like, it's like, yeah, only believe a grain of what this guy says because he's actually kind of full of shit.
Very full of shit. I would love that. He's on my list now of people I want to talk to. Fred Olen Ray. So Fred, if you are listening to this podcast, please, like, we would love to have you come on the pod and chat with you.
We totally would. Yeah. You've made some of our favorite B movies.
Yeah. Again, this movie opens right away with Michelle Bauer, like picking up a dude at the bar. And his name is Bo Hansen, which is a really funny interaction. Bobo. And then she brings him back to her place, and she has like this giant like Elvis painting on her wall, and she hangs like a single plastic tarp. Like she's about to chop.
She undresses fully, and then she starts putting the plastic up.
And ends up completely naked, only wearing a shower cap.
Yep.
And wielding a chainsaw, just chopping this dude up. Well, arms and legs and just tons of blood are flying back at her from off camera. It's so good.
Legit, this scene, I was cackling. Like from the minute it started, the THC had not hit yet, but like this is one of those scenes that I could not watch without giggling. Like if we ever play this at the State, and here's where I'm going to say, I wish
Brink was in this, so we can play Hollywood Chainsaw Hookers, yeah.
Because, look, I love sorority babes at the Slimeball Bolorama. This movie would bring the house down at the State. Like,
So, okay, on that point, because we mentioned it earlier, you brought it up here. Brink was offered a role in the movie. You would have to just guess one of the chainsaw hookers.
Yeah, probably the one opposite of Michelle Bauer, who doesn't have very
either
many
the one
lines,
opposite
right?
Michelle Bauer, where she gets like the scene with the dude where she like poses nude for the baseball bat, or there's another one where the woman's seducing Jack, and it's like Linnea, Michelle, and this other actress. You could see like maybe that's where Brink would have came in, and you would have had all three of them in that scene together. Mm-hmm. Either way, this is from IMDb. We can ask her this weekend if it's true. She turned down the role because at the time the movie was just called Hollywood Hookers.
Oh.
And she didn't really want to star in a movie called Hollywood Hookers.
That's fair. If that's true, I'd be very interested to hear from her. Yeah,
we'll have to ask. What's the... Yeah. Because, this feels like a movie where you would have all three of them in it.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
And, of course, Brink has worked with Fred many times.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
There's a great, great use of voiceover is we get a point where we go back to Lori, the Hollywood chainsaw hooker, in custody, and she has, like, these giant plastic chains.
Like fake as chains.
Hollywood... Like Halloween store chains.
Yes. But so many of them. Like, she's covered in them.
Covered in them. And then we get a voiceover, like, outside the police station. It says, "Meanwhile, across town." And then it cuts to the next scene right after that.
Yep. Oh, my God.
Where you get the other, like, main Hollywood chainsaw hooker. She's with this guy, and he's like, "I just want to take pictures of you." She's like, "What for?" "For my calendar." He's like, yeah, it's really big. It's really big with kids and schools and churches. It's just her like posing nude with a baseball bat.
Yep. and she's getting closer and closer to the camera every time, and he starts being like, "Hey, don't get so close. I can't keep focus." And then of course she knocks him out, and he wakes up in a bathtub and just gets chainsawed
again. Body parts flying at him, blood from off screen coming at her. Excuse me.
It's so great. Like I know that both of these scenes are shot pretty similarly. Like I know that the kill is essentially the same one, but it's such a great kill that I genuinely don't mind.
It's setting up like this is the pattern of what they're doing.
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
It's not both times it's Michelle doing this or
right. Yeah,
the other gal. Yeah,
it's meant to be a little ritualistic, and yeah, I love that.
Then we get Jack. He ends up with Mercedes' number off this matchbook that he finds at a crime scene.
Yeah.
Actually, he steals it off the autopsy.
That's right. Oh my God. Yeah, he does.
Very unsneakily just grabs it off the table, puts it in his pocket. Ends up calling Mercedes. They had this whole interaction where she's referring to herself as a car mechanic and that her headlights are good and he wants to check out her undercarriage and all the innuendos you can think of.
And meanwhile, he's told his lady, but not really his lady, that it's just a normal private detective thing that he's got to go on these dangerous jobs and everything, right? Which has a great payoff later.
Then did you notice this at the bar when he goes to meet up with Michelle? He's at the bar and he looks across the bar and there's a kid at the bar.
I totally missed that. Oh my God.
He's at the bar
insane.
and he's having this awkward interaction with the bartender who's creepy. Turns out he's part of the cult.
And I remembered I watched that. Maybe it's because I
focused on that.
Yeah.
But it cuts to the other bar patrons there and there's a little boy sitting at the bar.
That's amazing. Oh my God.
Yeah.
I 100%.
Just go back and scroll to that scene and rewatch it.
Yeah, that's great.
He ends Jack Chandler ends up tied up to the bed where Gunner comes in. It's very clear Gunner is more of a man behind the mask, not the traditional actor type.
Yeah.
Very wooden dialogue.
Which kind of works because he's just kind of supposed to be this enigmatic leader, I suppose. I don't know. Maybe. He does.
But he basically delivers exposition we're a cult that worships chainsaws and the ancient Egyptian chainsaws, apparently.
Yeah, ancient Egyptian chainsaws. Yeah, that's what and it's so funny. His explanation doesn't explain anything. It's wait,
no,
what?
The closest thing we get is that I wrote this quote down from him. The blade of the saw purifies the flesh. It's a really funny line. I had to write it down. But it's that. What is this cult?
Yeah. And
again, at the end, they have this final ritual where Jack is just there by chance. He's just there by chance. Linnea is the one that they want. She's this girl that's been missing that Jack is on the look for. She ends up infiltrating the cult, going undercover. Yeah. She has all this taken care of.
Yeah, she's undercover. She knows she knows all of this. She knows what the cult is. She had a friend who went
missing,
who essentially went missing in the cult, and so she is there to get revenge. She knows what this is. And Jack is just there.
He's just there. But when we get to the third act where those two team up, you have the creepy bartender there. And the whole cult ceremony is set up for basically Linnea is going to be their virgin sacrifice.
Yeah.
But before that, all of the members of the cult drink motor oil. You had the weirdo bartender there, and he shoves the big nozzle into cheap motor oil cans, fills a bowl up, and makes everybody drink from the bowl of motor oil.
So good. The way this movie just fully commits to it's a cult that loves chainsaws. They drink motor oil.
Yeah.
They worship ancient Egyptian chainsaws. Like, and it doesn't bother to explain any of that. It's just like, no, this is what the movie is. This is the reality that we're telling you is. So like, just leave it. Just don't ask questions. And I don't, because oh my God, it's so goddamn entertaining.
You don't have to ask questions.
No.
Yeah. Well, again, like the movie is, the last movie was, you know, drill planted in cheek. This one's just tongue in cheek. Foley. Yeah. Like there's a sign right outside of this ancient temple that they're part of, and it's just like this giant warehouse, and it just these black cats holding signs that say temple this way.
it's like just a little further
when they get in the building. Yeah.
It's so good.
And then I think probably the most iconic scene from this movie here.
The chainsaw fight.
Yeah, the chainsaw fight where Linnea comes out of like this tomb. Like she has like body paint on where it's like kind of camo. And she has two chainsaws, and she does like the virgin chainsaw dance. Yep. Ends up being, I'm not actually drugged by these people. I'm not actually part of the cult. Guts Gunnar Hansen. Not before. We got to talk about this part. I'm jumping a little far ahead here. Gunnar Hansen is about to sacrifice Jack. Mm-hmm. And he can't get his chainsaw to work, if you know what I mean.
Revved, yeah.
I assume this is where you're like, Fred Olin Wright had something to say.
Oh, I just more meant in the idea of like, essentially like that's a bigger, I hadn't even brought that into it in my head, but yeah, like this is all the women movie
can control their chainsaws. They're very well versed in how the chainsaw works.
Yeah, in this movie
it gets to Leatherface Gunnar Hansen, and he can't get his chainsaw to rev.
Yeah, he has performance issues. And it's just one of those like hilarious things where every man in this is incompetent, doesn't really have any kind of bearing on the plot. And all of the women, even though they're being written off as hookers, are the capable, smart, like, yeah, Michelle Bauer is a villain, but she's a capable and smart villain, you know, like she knows what she's doing at any time. Linnea has it all handled, like Jack doesn't even need to be there. I love how this movie is just very much, I mean, it's you're watching naked women, and it's very clearly like a male gaze kind of movie at times, you know, but it's also like, it's a little like Frankenhooker where it's kind of, it's got some feminist things to say to it. And I just, I love movies like this. I love movies
it's also
that
just
are
really
like
funny.
It is. It's so funny. Like I would double feature this with Big Trouble in Little China, because like it honestly gave me similar vibes to that movie. Like in general, like where it's just, you know, you're following a character who's not really the main character in this story. Like he's just there. And the interesting stuff is happening around him, and the humor is almost derived from him responding to like the insane shit that's happening around him while everyone else is keeping their cool because this is just their reality, right? And this movie is hysterical. Like even to the very end, the last like voiceover where he's talking about getting out and like all this stuff, and it just,
well, yeah, and we get that final fight, Linnea and Michelle fight.
Yeah.
Michelle gets like gutted with the chainsaw, covered in blood. Her body and Gunnar Hansen's body end up disappearing once the police show up.
Disintegrate, yeah.
It's hinting at, because they never found those bodies, the cult might still be out there. And it ends with Jack and Samantha together. And basically, again, it's a very like, Jack is not a good guy. Jack is not the character you should be rooting for. He's like, yeah, keep her around because she has nice tits, and like,
yeah, he hasn't learned a goddamn thing.
Yeah, it's like, no, that's not the point of this.
Right? Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, it is one of those movies where like, it's clearly made for like teen boys at sleepovers, right? The title alone is like, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
But like you're gonna watch it and you're gonna be like, oh yeah, that guy's a scumbag.
Yeah,
Because
that
the
guy
movie
sucks.
makes it clear that he's a scumbag. It's the same thing. It's the same thing with something like Frankenhooker. Like Jeffrey is like he's an understandable scumbag. He's still a scumbag, you know, like.
And that's one thing maybe I want to talk about here as we're wrapping it up here, like especially with those three, Michelle, Brink, Linnea.
Yeah.
The Nightmare Sisters. I mean, there's a reason at that time in the 80s where producers would hire them on. They knew nudity would not be an issue. And that was just kind of a standard bearer of the horror genre, especially low budget B movies.
Right.
It needs to have nudity, blood. And those three were not afraid to get covered in blood and be nude. And I think there's something powerful in that.
Yeah, well,
because they are like still super entertaining in all of those roles where you have nudity involved. Where you look at something like Nightmare Sisters or Sorority Babes in the Slime Ball Bolorama, Hollywood Chainsaw Hookers. Like, they're relentlessly entertaining.
Yeah.
Those three are relentlessly entertaining in those movies.
Right. And they seem like they're comfortable in it. Like, it doesn't... You don't get the vibe that anyone was uncomfortable or forced to do anything exploited. On set.
Yes.
Like, yeah, they don't feel like they're being exploited. They feel like they're doing it on their own terms. I mean, if Brink really turned this movie down because she's like, no, I don't like the title. Like, that shows you what kind of, like, she was just like, no, I have my boundaries and I'm gonna abide by them. Like, and the fact that they're still working with people, they're still working with, like, directors and producers that they worked with back in the day, they're still doing movies. Like, that tells you something, I think. You know, the fact that they'll show up to a screening of Sorority Babes at the Slime Ball Bolorama and, like, do a Q&A afterwards. Like, I love that. I don't know.
Yeah. It shows that, you know, people like Fred Olen Ray, David Dakota, you know, these directors that they worked with a lot in the 80s, 90s, and had them do these scenes, especially nude scenes. There's also another thing. You don't see a lot of Brink, especially, with a male co-star doing nudity. Michelle more so. Linnea more so. But even so, it always felt like they're the ones in power in those scenes.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure.
Especially in this one. Like,
yeah.
Jack is just an incompetent buffoon. So, yeah, I don't know. I think there's something that maybe it only could have happened in that era. Yeah, and maybe only could have happened with those three. You know?
Yeah.
With the directors that they worked with these type of movies, with Sorority Babes, with Nightmare Sisters, with Hollywood Chainsaw Hookers. Maybe it's just something we can't get in 2026. Maybe we don't need to.
Yeah.
You know? I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know. It's a really interesting snapshot of an era that, like, they just don't make movies like that anymore. Like, the B movies of today are a lot tamer. They're not... It's fascinating to see where we've gone as far as like gore now. I feel like gore is just all over the place. Like, you're getting Oscar nominated movies that are absolutely disgusting. You know, you're getting these like
The Substance.
Yeah, like The Substance. I mean, even Frankenstein had some gnarly effects. Like Sinners is like not super gory, but like there's some gnarly shit there, you know? Like,
nudity's kind of just non-existent in movies nowadays.
Yeah, it's kind
of crazy. And it's really only in those type of, like, in the type of work that you'd see, like, in an Oscar-nominated film. Like, horror, you kind of just don't see nudity in horror at all anymore. Fascinating.
It's kind of weird. Like, it's almost like this. We've gone so far to one side that, like, we've almost become puritanical in that, where it's like, okay, but there are people that like doing that like doing nude scenes, that, like, you know, And it's kind of fascinating. It feels like we're taking away some of that, like, anything that might challenge the norm. Like, we're
Yeah.
sanding off the rough edges. Because, like, and that doesn't sit well with me either, you know? But
There's a
then we have
time,
people like
there's always a
AJ who
time
are
and a
still,
place for it.
yeah,
And I'm not saying either of these movies have the right time or place, but they are. I mean, every time they have nudity, it's
I mean, I'd say in Hollywood chainsaw hookers, it's typically with a purpose,
with a purpose. Yeah.
and
Slumber
and
Party Massacre, it's not like during sex scenes. It's just
yeah,
maybe
it's just
that
the
is, I guess,
reality of, like,
technically unmotivated nudity, but like it doesn't feel exploitative, I guess.
yeah. And here's the thing. Here's what I think kind of ruined it is, like, the 2000s had some directors that very much were misogynist and very much leered at women's bodies and at nudity, and I think it put a bad taste in a lot of people's mouths. I mean, I'm gonna throw Michael Bay under the bus here. Like, his production company was kind of notorious for that. And I don't know. It sounds weird to say it, but there's something a little more innocent about the nudity in, like, a Friday the 13th movie or a Slumber Party Massacre or even a Hollywood Chainsaw Hookers than there is about the nudity in, like, the new Friday the 13th. Well, not new, from 2009. God, I'm so fucking old. There's a difference there in how that nudity is presented and where that is. And I don't know. There is a middle. There is a middle to that we just need to find again, I think.
Yeah, yeah. It's out
So,
there. There's a way. There's a way. I feel like we can bring some of this back. Don't know what it
yeah.
is, but horror it's ever evolving, ever changing, and I think we will get back to a version of what we saw 40 years ago, 30 years ago.
Yeah.
All right,
All
Sam, the
right.
last thing I have to say about Hollywood Chainsaw Hookers, it gives us a little tease of a sequel that never came. It says coming
Yeah.
soon at the end of the movie, coming soon, student chainsaw nurses, bad to the bone. A
Yeah.
sequel that never happened to the Hollywood
I'd watch it.
Chainsaw Hookers.
I'd watch it.
Fred, if you're listening still, you want some young, I say we're young, but young up and coming filmmakers to make student chainsaw nurses bad to the bone.
Yeah.
Let's talk.
Heck, we'd even just, like, help write a script.
We'll help drastically improve upon a script.
Yes, we'll help drastically improve upon a script. And I hold a wicked boom mic, so I
Sam,
don't
what
know.
are you giving out of 5 chainsaws? What are you giving Hollywood Chainsaw Hookers?
On Letterboxd, I gave this 3.5. But I think for the purposes of this podcast, how much fun I had with this movie, how much I'm already kind of itching to watch it again because it was just so goddamn fun. I'm gonna bump it up to 4, and I'm gonna say that in years to come that might go up even higher. This movie kind of fucking rules. So yeah, yeah, a solid 4 out of 5. How about you?
I'm at a 3.5 out of 5. I think this
Okay.
movie's just a ton of fun. I think that's like that perfect, like, this is so much fun. I will continuously rewatch this movie, and I feel like that 3.5 is just gonna stay that 3.5 chainsaws the whole time.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. I overrate movies that make me laugh hard, and this one made me
And it
laugh
did, yeah,
hard.
yeah.
It's the reason that I still tell people that The Uninvited is a really good movie. Or wait, it's just Uninvited, not The Uninvited. The cat on a yacht. You've seen it,
Oh
right?
yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Cat monster on a yacht.
I was thinking The Invitation for some reason. I'm like, that movie's
Oh,
not funny.
no, no, it is not. Uh, all right. Well, before we get to doobie doing, I suppose we'll do another ad read. Fangoria, for over 40 years, has been the leading source in horror for all things spooky, horrific, and macabre. The famed magazine is back with a vengeance each quarter with brand new issues of Fangoria magazine, featuring interviews, retrospectives, and insight into the world of horror. We have an exclusive offer for our listeners to save 20% off their subscription to the magazine, the latest Fango merch, and so much more. You can visit shop.fangoria.com/screamsfromthebasement or hit that QR code at the bottom of the screen and use promo code screamsfromthebasement at checkout, again, to save 20%. So thanks to Fangoria for helping support the show. Now, Casey.
Yes.
Our doobie doings are quite different, but I am curious, what have you been doobie doing in these last 2 weeks, aside from planning a convention?
Besides that, apparently a lot. Been getting some movies in. I will start things off with a couple movies from last year that I missed in my watch that I was excited to check out. First one being Corin Hardy's Whistle, which I believe came out in October. Was that in October of last year?
No, I think that's a this year movie.
Is it this year?
I think so.
It says 2025 on IMDb.
I think it played at festivals. Because it didn't get a theatrical release until this year, I'm pretty sure.
I don't know. I'll let you look that up as I
chat about. Tell me about Whistle.
Whistle.
February 6th release date in the U.S.
Oh, and this year. Okay.
Yep.
Maybe it was festival. Yeah, festivals last year, though. Yeah, I thought this movie was okay.
Sophie Elise is in this? Oh my god, it just went up on mine. Hell yeah.
She's good in this. Daphne Keane from the Wolverine movies. She's really good in this. Two leads are great. They're the best part of this movie. The movie otherwise is a pretty generic, like, teen horror movie. It's PG-13. It's about this group of teens that mark their own death by blowing into an ancient mystical skull whistle. And when you do that, death comes for you sooner than it would otherwise. Final Destination style. But after that, it's like just a ton of like CGI jump scares and scary scenes. Like every monster or every bad thing that happens to each of them is just CGI. And it's like, okay, like, this is kind of fun, but like there's no impact to it because it's very computer generated. And it just feels like I'm kind of watching cutscenes from a video game.
Bummer.
Yeah. I don't know. It's fine at best. I'm still waiting for Corin Hardy to make like a really good studio picture. I feel like he has it in him. Not the biggest fan of The Nun. I feel like there's a lot of style in that. This also has a lot of style to it. I like him as a director. It's just I feel like he gets bogged down in like loud noises and CGI.
Yeah.
It's like The Nun has a lot of that.
Have you seen his I'm pretty sure he did The Hallow.
Yeah. Which is not
love
that
movie. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that is such an atmospheric, like moody film.
And his movies still have that. The Nun has that. Whistle has that.
It feels like it's like big studio notes. Yeah. Like, no, let's keep it, like, and so maybe he's better served in that indie space. Like, look, I'm happy he's getting a bag of money for making these movies, but like, I would love to see him go back to the indie space for a movie and just see like what he can do again.
Because he hasn't done one since The Hollow, which was before The Nun.
Mm-hmm.
So,
which I like. I mean, we did a whole podcast on The Nun. Everybody knows I like that one a little bit more than you do, but.
One that I liked, I think, a lot more than other people, apparently, was Shelby Oaks. This one did come out last year. This was one I've been looking forward to for a long time. Again, another movie that was on the festival circuit for a while, for a couple of years. Mike Flanagan joined at one point, did some re-editing, reshoots on it. This is Chris Stuckman's feature film debut. One of my favorite YouTubers watching. Don't watch him as much as I did 10, 15 years ago. He also just doesn't put out as much because he's been making a goddamn movie.
Yeah.
Which is fair. And I know a lot of reviews were like, yeah, Chris Stuckman doesn't review bad movies anymore because he made one. Ha ha ha. I'm like, okay, what if he did? Like, what? Like,
Yeah.
why do we need negativity on the internet? Maybe it was like he found out, yeah, filmmaking's maybe even harder than I thought while I was reviewing these movies. That's a good thing. More people need to have that mindset of, this is really hard.
Because, like, no one wants to hear you just utterly obliterate a movie. Like, no one.
I mean, it's like the new Avengers movie, but like, sure, who cares?
Yeah.
But if it's like some indie production, like a Shelby Oaks, like completely Kickstarter crowdfunded, no, we don't need to hear that.
Yeah, we don't.
But here's the thing.
I
like this movie. I think it's pretty good. People are like, oh, it's just an amalgamation of movies he likes, like The Blair Witch Project and Hereditary.
Isn't that all movies?
Yeah, I'm like, isn't the old adage like there's only 5 stories you can tell, and it's all just how you tell it?
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know. It doesn't matter to me because it's. I mean, those influences are very clear, but that's okay. Like the movie opens like a Lake Mungo, where it is this found footage mockumentary type, and then something happens in that first 10-15 minutes, and it shifts from that mockumentary to like a traditional narrative. And it's like, oh, that's creative. Haven't seen that before. New, interesting. You're doing something with that mockumentary that we've seen. I know Stuckman has talked about Lake Mungo before as being an influence for this movie. And it's like, yeah, taking that concept, but let's do something different with it. I think it's really good, atmospheric movie. In many ways, this kind of feels, and I'd have to go back and listen to and watch his review on Adam Wingard's Blair Witch. I don't think he was a fan of that. I don't know who was.
Most people weren't.
Most people weren't.
Like, and I say that as someone who really was excited for that movie, but yeah.
In a way, that Shelby Oaks feels like just a much, much better version of Adam Wingard's Blair Witch. Like where someone's sibling goes missing while having all this footage out there. The Blair Witch Project in that case. This case, it's like a paranormal investigation show. But then the sibling that's still alive is like out there looking for their lost sibling. So I don't know. I like this movie a lot. The third act isn't great. It feels like
I've heard.
Maybe that's where some of those reshoots were added in. Maybe. I don't know. It's not great, but like for a first feature film, you can't always knock it out of the park with a first feature film. Like, come on.
Not everyone is going to be Jordan Peele, okay?
Yeah. Also, Jordan Peele had how many decades of experience under his belt?
And sketches and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
No, I saw that this just got added to Hulu, so I'm definitely gonna check it out.
Moving on from that, rewatched Scary Movies 4 and 5. Finished my way through the Scary Movie series. Have only seen Scary Movie 5 once in the theaters. I'll talk about that in a second. Scary Movie 4.
I actually don't know if I've seen Scary Movie 5, but after seeing your rating, I think I'll skip it.
I don't think you need Scary Movie 4, it's kind of like the last of the actual series. Like Scary Movie 5 doesn't like have anything to do with the other ones. Like Cindy Campbell isn't in it. Anna Faris is not in it. She's in 4. It's nice to see who's it? Regina Hall.
Back, Regina Hall. Yeah,
back in this one. She's super funny in this. Yeah. I love the cold open with Dr. Phil and Shaq in the saw traps.
Yes.
I think
wrong foot.
Yeah, wrong foot.
Stuck in my brain forever. I love that
Shaq
opening.
has to make a free throw with a rock to get out of the trap and can't do it. Like, it's so, like, Dr. Phil freaking out at Shaq, like, cursing him out and stuff. It's, everything with the Saw stuff is really good. The worst stuff in this, though, is when it, like, tries to, like, shoehorn War of the Worlds as its second plot. And, man, this guy, the new love interest for Cindy, played by Craig Burko, who plays a character called Tom Ryan, supposed to be like a play on Tom Cruise. Couldn't have like changed his name to like Tom Drive or something like like something that relates more to Tom Cruise. They don't like make fun of Tom Cruise at all until like an after credit scene. It's insane.
Yeah, it is a little weird. Here's the thing. Scary Movie 4 was my first scary movie. and I loved War of the Worlds.
Sure.
So this one is like, I have a soft spot for it. It's so bad, but I have such a soft spot for it.
None of that stuff was funny. He was so unfunny in this, especially coming off Scary Movie 3, where honestly, I think, oh my God, what's his name? From Scary Movie 3, the love interest.
It's been a long ass time since I've watched.
He comes back in Scary Movie 5. God damn it. What's his name? Simon Rex.
Oh, yeah, that guy.
He's so funny. And he has like great chemistry with Anna Faris. This other guy has zero chemistry with Anna Faris and is just very unfunny. I kept thinking he was what's that guy from he was in Deadpool? Is the guy with the mustache?
Oh, T.J. Miller.
Not T.J. Miller.
Oh, Rob Delaney.
Rob Delaney. I kept thinking this guy was Rob Delaney. It's all the credits, and I'm like, oh, it wasn't Rob Delaney.
Oh my God,
just
that's
some
funny.
knockoff version of Rob Delaney. Okay, and then I get to Scary Movie 5. Had not seen this since 2013. Holy shit, what is time? Watched this in the theaters. Again, the series at this point was in its full PG-13 rating, which I think 3, 4, and 5 are PG-13.
I think so, yeah.
I don't think 2 is. I maybe laughed like
not.
Once or twice at this movie. This is where Ashley Tisdale takes over as the lead with Simon Rex, who comes back as Dan Sanders from the third Scary Movie. Okay, he's playing he's playing a different character. Okay, I'm trying to figure out the timeline of this, okay? He's playing Dan Sanders, a different character than what he played in Scary Movie 3. Okay? In Scary Movie 3, he was brothers with Charlie Sheen, where Charlie Sheen had a character name. He was a character. Okay? This movie, Scary Movie 5, opens with Charlie Sheen and Lindsay Lohan filming a sex scene together, a sex tape.
Mm-hmm.
And he's playing Charlie Sheen, though. And he dies, Paranormal Activity style.
Okay.
And it's like, and it says in the movie that Dan Sanders, Simon Rex's character, was brothers to Charlie Sheen.
Okay.
But it's not that they're brothers like from the third movie when their actual characters are brothers. It's sort of trying to connect back to that one, but just doesn't commit to it at all.
Yeah. I mean,
they're like, it's funnier if he's just actually Charlie Sheen.
You're talking about this though, like these movies have never been high art.
No, but at least keep some.
I'd argue that even past
keep his name the same. I don't know. This movie's awful. It's horrible. It's so blandly shot. Snoop Dogg and Mac Miller are in it, and they're just so unfunny together. And I'm like, really? Like you would think those two together would be super funny. It's just
like Ted's in it. What the hell?
What's that?
There's Ted in it too. Like the teddy bear? He's on the poster. A pot smoking teddy bear.
I don't remember what he does. The big parody in this one is Paranormal Activity and Mama.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why is Mama the big horror movie you're parodying? Like, that wasn't the trend of the time, Mama. It was more Paranormal Activity than anything. It even throws in the Evil Dead remake, which is sort of funny, just doesn't do a whole lot with it. There's like a funny bit where you have like a fun bunch of like teen actors like Sarah Hyland and that guy from Teen Wolf.
Oh.
You know what I'm talking about. Whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, where they like recreate some of the scenes from Evil Dead and just start like chopping off their limbs and stuff. It's just not. This movie's not good. Ashley Tisdale.
Tyler Posey.
Yeah. Ashley Tisdale is just not a Anna Faris at all. So if you are like me going through all the scary movies again, I would say you are very safe to skip Scary Movie 5. I'm spending way too much time on this. Anyway, moving on. Watch back-to-back horror romance movies.
Okay.
I would say. Kind of a pretty underrated subgenre of horror.
I'd agree.
First one here is Cannibal Mukbang from 2023.
For a while.
It is. It's so good. Like,
okay.
There's tons of high ratings for this movie. I was not expecting it to be like this, where it's like this awkward meet cute romance, where this kind of schlubby dude meets this girl at a like gas station at 2 a.m. They hit it off because they had both had the same favorite snack. She ends up running him over with her car. She takes him back to her place, brings him back to full health, feeds him a special recipe of hers, and he's like, "This is the greatest food I've ever had in my entire life." He's like, "What do you do for a living?" And she's a mukbang YouTuber where she like films herself eating tons and tons of food. Turns out also she is a cannibal who is killing terrible, terrible people and eating them.
Hell yeah.
And he finds out and he's like, well, do I choose love even though she's a cannibal? Or do I go about my own way? And let's just say love wins for better or worse. Jumped into 2014 spring from Moorhead and Benson. These dudes rule. I love these guys. I still need to check out their Moon Knight show just because I want to see what Moorhead and Benson do with the Marvel property.
Yeah, I watched the pilot episode of that. I did not continue it, unfortunately, but the pilot was really interesting. Like I thought it was a good vibe. Definitely weird.
Yeah. Spring was kind of one of their big like breakout hits that people talk about. This is from 2014, so over 10 years ago now. And this movie's about this like 20-something-year-old, just kind of dude, just a dude who works at a bar, went to college, never did anything with it, had to leave college to take care of his mom after his dad died, and she ended up with cancer. The movie opens with she dies of her illness. And he gets into a fight at the bar the night after the funeral and is like, I need a fresh start. He's like, I'm just going to go somewhere. I'm going to go overseas. And we're going to just get away from the world, from my world for a while. So he ends up in Italy. This is where he meets this very like seductive young lady that he very much is like, I would like to take you on a date. I don't want just like a one night stand versus her who's just like, no, let's just do a fling. You're a tourist. That's all I want. But he's like, no, we gotta work something out. So he ends up staying in Italy longer, ends up working on a farm, only to find out that this woman is not just a cute Italian woman. She's actually a 2,000-year-old monster. So again, horror romance, I'll leave it at that. You got to watch this movie. It's incredible. Both have just great endings to both Cannibal Mukbang and Spring. Would make a great double feature if you want to watch those two back to back.
Hell yeah.
So,
all right.
Sam, add those to your watch list.
Will do. Cannibal Mukbang's been there. Spring, I had never even heard of, so definitely going to check that out.
Yeah. Two non-horror movies I'm just going to throw out here just for funsies. Rewatched Without a Paddle because we talked about it when we both watched Anaconda, how much that movie reminded us of Without a Paddle. This movie still holds up like really well for a movie from 2004. Yeah.
It's like really sweet. I remembered the tree hippies, but I didn't quite remember everything that was said or the context of the tree hippies. And so when I put this on last year, I was a little worried going into that scene. I was like, is this going to be like, kind of misogynist, like, ew, their hair, like, and I was genuinely surprised at how, like, it just kind of treats them as like a normal, like, yeah, they're just part of the ecosystem out here, like, yeah.
And Seth Green gets to end up with his hairy woman of his dreams.
And he's happy. I love that movie. I love that aspect. Like, it's great.
Dax Shepard is he's the biggest problem with the movie. His character is awful, and he's kind of grating. Turns out Dax Shepard in real life is just terrible and grating.
Yeah. Yeah, anyway, I'm kind of tired of hearing about him, honestly.
Yeah, fuck that guy. Lillard rules. Seth Green rules. Fuck Dax Shepard. Movie still holds up, though. It's really good. And still, like, if you paired Anaconda and Without a Paddle, would be a great double feature.
Weirdly, thematically, just very similar.
Yeah. On how much of that, how much Without a Paddle just jumps to, like, them burning down a pot farm and the hillbillies chasing after them, like, takes over the plot from them trying to find D.B. Cooper's treasure. So much, just like Anaconda does, of, like, with the gun smuggling, and takes over the Anaconda story.
Yeah. It's crazy.
I watched, just throwing this one on here, Tim and Eric's $1 Billion Movie. Have you ever seen this movie?
I have not.
Do you watch Tim and Eric at all?
I mean, I know who Tim Heidecker and, like, Eric Wareheim are. I didn't used to watch, like, their show or anything.
Awesome show. Yeah. I didn't really either, besides, like, clips back in the day, like, from, what was the comedy YouTube channel? Funny or Die.
Yeah.
Just from watching some of that. And this has a ton of that. Will Ferrell's in this. John C. Reilly's in it. Will Forte. This movie's just fucking weird and super low budget. It's yeah. So, I don't know if I would recommend it if you're not into just weird, irreverent comedies, especially from 2012. But I will say, it's kind of crazy. We still have billionaires in 2026 when Tim and Eric killed them all in this movie.
Yeah, love this.
Last but not least, made it to the theaters for Lee Cronin's The Mummy.
So fucking jealous. I'm going to try and get there this week.
Way too many low ratings for this movie. So a lot of 3-star and lower. And I'm like, what movie were you guys watching? Because this movie rips.
People hated on Evil Dead Rise too, and you and I walked out loving that. Yeah.
You're gonna love this movie. It's
pumped.
It's the exact same tone as Evil Dead Rise. The movie's about.
So there's a little bit of a dark humor like thread through it.
A lot of it, a dark humor.
Okay, good. Yes.
Yeah, a lot of it. Maybe more so than Evil Dead Rise.
Okay, I'm in. That's all you had to say.
This movie is fucking mean. In a very fun way. Like so Evil Dead like Rise was.
So it's like the Stephanie scene, like, over and over again?
Yeah. Because there's 3 kids in this movie, and they're not afraid to do stuff with all 3 kids. The main villain of the movie, the Mummy, is one of the kids.
Yeah.
So, yeah, this movie's not... If you didn't like Evil Dead Rise, you're probably not going to like this movie. But, man, I love Lee Cronin's work. I can't wait to see what he does next. So if you're a fan of Evil Dead Rise, The Mummy is unlike any other mummy I've seen. It was really weird. So we're recording this on Sunday, and we went to the, like, noon show on Sunday. And there was a bunch of, like, old people in there. And then right in front of us, in the front row, was a mom and her 2 kids. And, like,
what?
The kids got up at the end of the movie. They stayed through the whole thing. But the kids got up at the end of the movie, and they had, like, light-up shoes. And I'm like, if your kids still have light-up shoes, I don't know if Lee Cronin's The Mummy is the movie I would bring them to. But, hey, more props to them. Like, they stuck it out through the whole movie.
That parent had to think they were going to something similar to the Brendan Fraser movies.
That's what me and Kayla were wondering, but they stuck it out.
Yeah, that's crazy. They were like, well, this is just an experience for them, I guess, then.
Apparently, I don't know.
After you've seen one horrific thing, like, what's a few more for the next couple hours?
Apparently. The runtime is a little long. It's 2 hours and 17 minutes. Probably could have cut 15 minutes out of it, sure, but I don't know. I was thoroughly entertained the entire runtime. I love this movie. It's probably going to end up in my top 10, much like Evil Dead Rise did.
Hell yeah. I'm really pumped for it. The runtime is something that I'm kind of like, ooh on, but like, yeah.
It flies by. Also, there's a teaser for Evil Dead Burn in front of it. And I had not watched the teaser. I didn't know there was the teaser attached to it. And yeah, it's awesome.
It's awesome? Okay, yeah. I'm pumped. Oh,
it's not even a trailer. It's literally a teaser, maybe 15, 30 seconds, and it's just a oneer of shit happening. And then the title card of Evil Dead Burn.
Okay.
I'm like,
okay.
Oh, okay.
Hell yeah. That's amazing. I'm pumped.
All right, Sam. Besides planning Screams by Night, what else have you been doing? I see something new that you have not talked about before on here.
Yeah, so we're just gonna have to start a streaming channel for video games because
Screams from the Basement Twitch coming soon apparently.
yeah, apparently because I have just kind of dove into the world of video games. I've had a Switch for a couple years. I played the Friday the 13th game and like, the regular Mario stuff because I'm a Nintendo nerd and I'm still very much playing Mario stuff because I'm a Nintendo nerd. But like I bought a Scott Pilgrim game that really hooked me and I was like, "Oh, this is really fun." And then I started playing Alien Isolation. Um which is like a first person horror game where you're Ripley's daughter essentially trying to find out what happened to her mom by, investigating this space station that has been decommissioned and fucking terrifying. The sound design in this game is crazy. I'm really loving it. It's so good. It's so much fun. And I also just bought Mortal Kombat 11 because it was on sale for like dirt cheap. And I was like, it's 80% off. It's never going to be more than 80% off, right? So I picked it up for like $9. I haven't played a Mortal Kombat game since probably like 05, 06. I got so sucked into this. I played this thing like I got off work Friday night and I was like, I'm just gonna pop on the new Mortal Kombat game, do a few fights, it'll be fine. Got pulled into story mode, and I think I spent 4 hours playing that game. I could not believe it. I'm like, I don't think I've time sucked that hard since like, yeah, it was crazy. So I've been gaming, and I'm really pumped. I need to get a system other than the Switch, just because there's a lot of horror games specifically that Nintendo does not carry on the Switch because Nintendo's weird like that sometimes. So I'm gonna get something else, whether it be a gaming computer, a Steam thing, whatever. And we should 100% start twitching some horror games because I'm loving it.
Yeah.
I'm going full in on the gamer thing.
We needed to play what's the ghost hunting one? Phasmophobia.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I think people would be thoroughly entertained by you and I playing Phasmophobia.
Probably. And then yeah, while I was playing Alien Isolation, it just made me really want to watch an Alien movie, and so I popped on Alien Romulus. For only the second time. I'd watched it once, and I'm pretty sure did it make both of our top 10 lists? I know it at least made yours. I can't remember if it made mine.
Ooh, I don't know.
It might have been an honorable mention for me. Probably should have been on my top 10 list. Holy shit, this movie fucks so hard. Like I I love it. I was even more invested in the like sibling relationship this time. Like I was very just on board. Like the characters the first time, a lot of them kind of blended together for me, and I was like, oh, like I don't really know who we're following. And this time, like I was able to separate them a little bit better and like understand the personalities that were at play with each other. And then that fucking final half hour hits. Like this is a 2 hour movie that flies by, and that final half hour with what they do with the alien and that final boss form that it takes, I'm like, it's the scariest thing that's been done in that franchise. It's the scariest thing that has been done in that franchise. I don't think it's the best movie in the franchise, but oh my god, like on terms of just pure horror and pure like what the fuck, like this movie takes the cake. It's so good. Fede is just he's a master at movies that like make your skin crawl, that are so brutal and so gory, and then somehow still has like a beating heart and a moral compass at the center. Like his Evil Dead movie, I don't really care for Don't Breathe with the turn it takes in the third act, but like you can't tell me that you don't care about everything that Jane Levy is going through in that movie, even while things are just disgusting. Like I he is just probably one of like I don't know. I've kind of we documented my turnaround on his Evil Dead movie. We did a whole episode where I was like, "You're right, I was wrong. This movie kind of rules." Um, I will watch anything this guy does next. I am so pumped to see whatever he does, whether it's IP, whether it's an original idea. I want to see the next Fede Alvarez movie, because he just makes these brutal but beautiful movies, and he understands what makes horror tick. Like, I even watched the behind the scenes featurette on Alien Romulus, and he was talking about how he wanted to, like, he set it between Alien and Aliens, and he wanted it to look like a movie that would have been made between those two movies. So everything, like, he was like, we committed to the practical effects, we committed to like making this in the same way they would have, as close as we could to like what it would be like in the late 70s, early 80s. And I think he nailed that. Like, I think this movie looks incredible. I think the practical sets are amazing. And yeah, Kaylee Spaney and David Johnson as the siblings at the center of it all. So good. And Dora the Explorer gives birth to a just disgusting monster at the end. So like, what is there not to love? Like, holy shit. Oh, I love it. Love it so much. Anyways. That's what I've been doing. So,
you know what else we've been doing? Getting ready for the Screams by Night halfway to Halloween Con. This is our final plug.
Yeah.
It's our last message to get out there. So listeners, if you're in the Sioux Falls, South Dakota area, if you're somewhere within driving distance, we have a lot of people driving in for this event. Mm-hmm. A lot of our friends from Omaha, from North Dakota, from Iowa. They're making their way to Sioux Falls, South Dakota this weekend, Saturday, April 25th at The Social in Sioux Falls, South Dakota from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. Over 30 unique horror and Halloween vendors, guests including today's topic, today's friends, Brinke Stevens, Michelle Bauer. We have Doug Morano from Bad Hand Books is going to be there. Kelsey and Steve Livengood from a ton of indie horror films. We have the Sioux Falls Krampus, South Dakota Ghostbusters, 3 food trucks. It's a VR experience. Like, there's so much going to be going on for a one-day Halloween and horror event, and we hope you can make it out to it. Again, tickets online at screamsfromthebasement.com/screamsbynight. Get them now for $10 before the show, $15 at the door, and kids 10 and under are free. Yes, this is still going to be kid-friendly. Still plenty of vendors that will be kid-friendly. Face painting that kids will love. So yeah, please bring the entire family. It's a ton of fun, and you can easily spend the entire day with us at the at the Screams by Night halfway to Halloween Con. Sam, do you have any final thoughts on a last plea to get people to come hang out with us?
Here's the thing. I'm always so nervous for this thing that I spend the first couple hours not enjoying myself and watching everyone else enjoy themselves. You should be one of those people I watch enjoy yourselves while I have a panic attack in the corner. It's going to be great. Actually, I'm much better. I'm so pumped to be
I think we're going to have a blast this year. I think we know what works, we know the flow, and we know we can have a good time while we're there. We don't have to stress out. We don't have to be stressful.
We don't have to be like, I'm pumped. I'm really pumped. I think this is going to be such a fun event. And like, if you listen to this show, if you like horror, if you like Halloween, even just a little bit, you're going to find something. We have fudge. Like, we have fudge there. Why do we have fudge there? I don't know, but we do. So come get some fudge. Even if you don't like scary stuff.
Thing you could collect as a horror fan will be there. Like literally everything. There's nothing that we didn't miss.
Yeah, there's nothing. Like, we will have...
If you like action figures, we got that. You like movies, we got that. You like posters, we got that. Food, we got that. Games, books.
Little crocheted things.
I'll say plushies.
Big crocheted things.
Movies about Babezillas. We got it. We got it all. We got everything your horror loving heart could ask for, and so much more. It's going to be so much fun. I'm just so excited to do this. So pumped. We haven't said this yet. I'm going to give a shout out to our sponsors here. We have not said it on the podcast. They are on the website. I'm going to make sure I pull them up and make sure we get them all. But Sam, while I'm doing that, do you want to let people know where they can find us online?
Yeah, well, you can always find us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or YouTube. If you like that video component, make sure to subscribe, hit the bell icon. Make sure you're getting notified every time we drop an episode, which is every Friday. You can also follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Threads, Blue Sky, and TikTok, where we post about our episodes, about events like Screams by Night, and just general shenanigans that we're doing. Casey, do you have that sponsors list for Screams by Night?
I do. And you know what? Since we got time, it's our podcast. It's our last one before the show. Let's name every sponsor. Let's name every vendor. Let's name everything. Like, we haven't mentioned any of this.
Yeah, go for it.
A lot of this not on the show.
You have it all pulled up?
I got it all pulled up. Let's do this.
Okay, let's do it.
So, first of all, we couldn't do this without our sponsors. So,
yes.
Of course, this is a joint production between ourselves and Comics by Night. Our friend John Runyon could not do this without John. So shout out John Runyon. Check out Comics by Night. I know he's relaunching that show in a very badass way.
Yep.
Also, shout out to our other sponsors, Sioux Falls State Theater, host to Sorority Babes and the Slimeball Bowl-orama. If you're looking for something fun to do on April 24th, come watch Sorority Babes with us. Our nonprofit partner, the Transformation Project, which we'll be doing a silent auction for them there. 60 Seconds of Steven, our good pal Ken. Warwolf Productions and Johnson and Richter Creative. They'll be helping out behind the scenes for shooting video at the show. Other sponsors include the Echo Eries, Dolly O'Hara, The Bear Cave of Terror, Starfighter Comics, Terror Cards, Waypoint VR, Center for Family Medicine, Gypsy Witch Paranormal, Atomic Robot Tattoo, and Bad Hand Books. We could not do that without each and every one of them.
Yeah, absolutely.
Also, let's shout out all of our vendors that we got coming. If you want some tasty food trucks, we got Put It In Your Mouth food trucks coming with their Tex-Mex food. Woodfire Catering with some incredible barbecue. I got to pull up our coffee truck. I do not put them on the website yet. That is one of my projects for today. The Good Stuff Coffee, Just Fudge It, Waypoint VR, Forager Finds, Crooked Harvest, Doodlebug Doodles. The Siouxland Library will be out there talking about their Scary on the Prairie lineup for this year. Untamed Creations, Old School Video, Cryptic Couture Company, Fear Falls Radio Theater, Wicked Stitches and Crafts, Nick's Videoland, Journey into the Haunted Game Chest, Dylan Danger, Console Art, Coffin Crew Masks, Smoky Court Stained Perfections, The Nightshade Nook, Skelly Boy Art, Cambino Draws, Glow Bat, Outside of a Dog, Books and Games, Brian Clark, that son of a bitch, he'll be there, Terror 29, Hodgebob Productions, Krampus Knock of Sioux Falls, the South Dakota Ghostbusters, Bad Hand Books, and Izzy Romero. SFX will be doing face painting, airbrushing, and prosthetics. And, of course, our guests, once again, Doug Morano, the founder of Bad Hand Books, Steve Livingood, Kelsey Livingood, Brinke Stevens, and Michelle Bauer, all at the Screams by Night halfway to Halloween Con.
That's a hell of a lineup.
That's a hell of a lineup.
We should thank the guys that put that together, but...
Fuck them.
Yeah. All right, Casey.
Let's wrap this thing up. We have a con to go to. We got a con to finish some things on. So Sam, why don't you go ahead, give us that wonderful sign off one last time before halfway to Halloween.
All right, everybody. Reminder that we support trans youth here. Fuck ICE. Get them out of our airports. Get them out of our cities. Horror has always been political and always will be. And thanks for tuning in. Sweet screams. We'll see you at halfway to Halloween. Ooh.
You're listening to the Prescribed Films Podcast Network, home to hundreds of hours of free podcast entertainment. The shows on this network all have a common goal, providing you with the best discussions about movies and other forms of entertainment media. The PFPN hopes to fill your earholes with audio joy. Visit our website with links to all the other amazing shows at www.pfpn.net. thepfpn.com. Thanks for listening.